Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary Series. So, Shaman of the Great Hunt, really good card. Response at the beginning of combat is Stasis Snare. So, Shaman gets exiled. Let's see, I'm thinking Temur Aggro versus Orzhov Control. If it is Orzhov Control, then the whole point of this deck is to keep creatures off the board that aren't yours. Sigil of the Empty Throne. And that is one of their endgame plays. They play a lot of Stasis Snares, Silk Wraps, Quarantine Fields. The whole point is to keep the board clear until you either have a team or to keep the board clear so that you can attack with your team. Kolagons, the Storm's Fury getting dashed. That's a good way around Orzhov Control, especially when he's tapped out. This way, he can't exile it with an enchantment. Now, Orzhov Control does run creature kill, so Ruinous Path, Ultimate Price, you get the, Murderous Cut, you get the picture. So, dashed in for 5, bounced back to the hand, but with him tapped out, he didn't have any options to kill Kolagon. So, now he does have to worry about a recurring dragon. And he doesn't have any targets for his creature removal enchantments to get him another enchantment. But there are options. I don't know if Orzhov Control runs them or not, because it's a fairly new build. They could be running the sieges, Palace Siege or Citadel Siege. He throws down Blood-Cursed Knight, which on paper looks like a really good creature, but I've never seen anybody be able to use it. It's just so easy to get rid of. 3 mana for a 3/2 is okay. When you have an enchantment, he gets +1/+1 and lifelink, and there you go. Draconic Roar, revealing Kolagon, and he's dead, just like that. 3 damage to him, 3 damage to the face, and that's usually what happens to Blood-Cursed Knight. I've only seen him be able to do combat damage 1 or 2 times at most. He's just too vulnerable. Painful Truths, 3 colors, draw 3, lose 3. But right here would actually be a pretty good place to throw down a Citadel Siege. And either choice would be good. Either tapping down creatures or giving +1/+1 counters, because you'd get an angel token out of it. I would personally go with the tap choice. That way you make it harder for the other guy if he wants to play Kolagon. Go ahead and dash him. At the beginning of your combat step, I'll tap him. Or, since he's completely open with 6 mana and 3 cards in hand, he could have an instant kill spell in his hand, just waiting for it. And Thunderbreak Regent. That right there is a little bit scary for the Orzhov Control deck, because he has to take 3 damage to the face just to get rid of it, regardless of what he tries. And there's Frostwalker. I don't see him very often. I heard a lot of talk the first time, when he was first released, about how he was so good. But over the sets that have come out, he's just disappeared. And no end of turn plays. There's Suppression Field. Target creature with toughness 3 or greater, so he has to target the Thunderbreak Regent with it. May exile, so actually he could choose not to. But in this situation, you don't want to have to deal with, Lightning Bolt Dragon every time you want to get rid of one of his other dragons. So take the 3 damage now, get rid of the Thunderbreak, and hope that he doesn't get another one. Because you're on 8 life. But Suppression Field gave him an Angel. And he's playing Silk Wrap, which will kill the Frostwalker. And give him a second Angel. Which he really needs right about now, because unless he has a kill card in his hand to deal with Kolagon, a dashing Kolagon is actually pretty scary right now since he's on 8 life. But having 2 Angels means that he's pretty safe from that. Delving for a Murderous Cut to get rid of one of the Angels. Things are getting a little bit more scary for this Orzhov Control deck. A dashed Kolagon will eat the Angel. It won't get through, but he'll get rid of one more Angel. Ooh, Savage Knuckleblade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't have enough to haste the Knuckleblade and dash Kolagon. So he's dashing Kolagon, he's leaving the Knuckleblade. So his death blow is going to be next turn at best. So Kolagon goes in, and he really has to block here. You can't risk going down to 3 life. Never mind, he risks going down to 3 life. Read the bones. Wow, he's going down to 1. He's desperate. And the difference between 3 life and 1 life at the moment isn't worth thinking about. He needs the cards. 3 mana available. If he plays a land, he'll have 4, but 4 white won't save him. Unless he pulls an enchantment that can exile the Savage Knuckleblade, which he didn't play. He could have a Stasis Snare, and he could be waiting for Kolagon. But if he draws a Wild Slash, Draconic Roar, trying to think of any of the other burn spells that you see very often. He's hard casting Kolagon. Ah, Surrak the Hunt Caller. He gives Kolagon haste, so now he can attack with the Knuckleblade and Kolagon. And the Orzhov deck, he has to play something here. If he doesn't, he's dead. And there's the Stasis Snare. I had a suspicion that he was holding off on that. That gets him another Angel. And he's getting rid of Kolagon. So now he can block Knuckleblade with an Angel, kill the Knuckleblade, stay alive for another turn, and hopefully draw something helpful in his next turn. He might be able to hold this guy off. Surrak is a 5/4, so an Angel will kill him. Myth Realize, that gets him another Angel. And Suppression Bonds. I forgot about that card. So Surok can't attack or block, and his activated abilities can't be used, but that's a triggered ability, not activated. So he could give something haste, but that one turn, everything's turned back around. It looks like the Orzhov Control deck the Orzhov Control deck does win. But that was a really good match. Well, game, sorry. That was really close. I honestly didn't know who was going to win for a while, or there at the end. I was fairly certain that the Aggro deck was going to take it, but that was one heck of a turnaround from the Orzhov Control deck, especially risking going down to 1 with the Read the Bones. But that was a pretty long match, so I'm going to end the video there. I assume that was Teamer Aggro versus Orzhov Control. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me.